Have you ever felt like something was missing? Like a part of you has been forgotten, buried beneath the distractions of daily life, hidden from your awareness? What if I told you that you are not just one body, but four? That your reality, your energy, your ability to shape your destiny is determined by forces within you that have been suppressed, ignored, and manipulated for centuries? This knowledge has been hidden in ancient texts, protected by secret societies, whispered in forbidden teachings, because those who truly understand it gain the ability to step outside the programmed reality and become something greater. They don't want you to know this. They don't want you to awaken, because the moment you do, you become uncontrollable. You have been led to believe that you are just flesh and bone, a body moving through time, reacting to the world around you. But that is only the surface. You are not just a physical being, you are an energetic being, a multi-layered entity with four interconnected bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And when you awaken all four, when you bring them into alignment, something incredible happens. Reality itself begins to shift. The limitations you once accepted dissolve. The barriers placed around your mind break apart. You stop being a passive participant in life and become the architect of your own destiny. But before you can reclaim this power, you must understand how they have kept you disconnected, how they have used your own energy against you, how they have ensured that you never realize the full extent of what you are, because they know the truth, that reality is not solid, that your thoughts, your emotions, your breath, your very vibration dictate the world you experience. They have spent centuries mastering this knowledge, using it to shape society, to control consciousness, to keep the masses asleep, while a select few operate beyond the veil. And this is where it begins, the first body, the physical, the most obvious, the most targeted. Because if they can weaken the body, if they can fill it with toxins, with stress, with artificial frequencies that lower its vibration, then the rest of you never has a chance to activate. The food you eat, the air you breathe, the constant exposure to stress, fear, and overstimulation. This is not accidental. It is by design. A weakened body leads to a weakened energy field, making it easier to manipulate, easier to control, easier to keep in a low-frequency state where higher consciousness is unreachable. But when you take back control of your body, when you strengthen it, purify it, nourish it with intention, something begins to happen. Your energy shifts, your awareness expands, the signals from your higher bodies become clearer, stronger, undeniable. And then the second body awakens, the emotional body, the water element within you. This is where they target you next, through fear, through guilt, through cycles of trauma passed down generation after generation, reinforced by society, by media, by the very structures that claim to protect you. Emotions are energy in motion, and if they can manipulate your emotions, if they can keep you in a constant state of reaction, of instability, of emotional exhaustion, then they can keep you trapped. But what happens when you reclaim this body? What happens when you stop reacting? When you stop allowing external forces to dictate how you feel? When you learn to transmute your emotions instead of being ruled by them? That is when you begin to rise. That is when your energy stops feeding the system of control and starts feeding your own power. That is when you become unshakable. And then something even more powerful begins to shift. The third body, the mental body, the air element. This is the mind, the realm of thought, of perception, of belief. This is where they have built their greatest weapon, because if they can control your mind, if they can dictate what you believe is possible, then they don't need to control anything else. If they can fill your head with doubts, with limitations, with narratives that keep you small, then you will never even attempt to break free, and they have mastered this art. Through education, through repetition, through the careful engineering of belief systems that make you question your own power, but once you see it, once you recognize how your thoughts have been shaped by forces outside of you, you can take back control. You can reprogram your mind. You can strip away the layers of conditioning and begin to think, truly think, for yourself. And when that happens, the fourth body awakens, the spiritual body, the fire element, the divine spark within you that they have tried so hard to extinguish. This is the connection to something greater, to the universal force that flows through all things, to the ancient wisdom that has been hidden in sacred texts, encoded in symbols, preserved in temples and pyramids and forgotten structures that were built to amplify energy, to harness the very essence of creation. The spiritual body is your link to the infinite, and it is the most dangerous to them, because once you activate this body, once you remember that you are not separate from the divine, that you are not just a being experiencing reality, but a creator shaping it, they lose all control. This is why they have fought to keep you disconnected. This is why they flood your mind with distractions, why they keep your emotions unstable, why they weaken your body with chemicals and stress. Because the moment all four of your bodies align, the illusion crumbles. The system of control no longer holds power over you. You begin to vibrate at a frequency that is untouchable, unstoppable, and once you reach that state, you begin to change everything. Not just your own life, not just your own reality, but the entire world around you. Because consciousness is not isolated, it is interconnected. The more people who awaken, the more the collective field shifts. And that is why this knowledge has been hidden for so long. That is why those who understood it in the past were silenced, erased, cast out as heretics. Because they knew that if enough people remembered, the old world would fall. The system would collapse, and a new reality, one built on awareness, on creation, on sovereignty, would take its place. And now the choice is in your hands. You have heard the truth. You have felt the resonance of something deeper than what you have been told to believe. You know, on some level, that this is real, that you have been disconnected from your true power for far too long. And now you must decide, will you step forward? Will you begin the process of reactivating what has been dormant inside of you? Will you reclaim the four bodies that were always meant to work as one? Or will you allow yourself to be pulled back into the sleep of the masses, into the distractions, into the programming that was designed to keep you from ever realizing who you truly are? This is not just another idea, this is not just another theory. This is ancient knowledge, hidden for centuries, waiting for the right moment to be remembered, and that moment is now. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready to step into your true power? Are you ready to become something more than what this world told you to be? Because if you are, everything is about to change. The reality you once knew will never be the same again, because now you know. And once you know, there is no going back. You are beginning to remember. The feeling has been growing inside you, the sense that something isn't quite right, that the world is not as solid, not as fixed, not as real as you were led to believe. You have spent your life moving through a system that taught you only half-truths, that conditioned you to believe in limitations, that made sure you would never ask the questions that could set you free. But now you are asking, now you are seeing, now you are waking up. And the truth is, you were never meant to be just one body, just one consciousness trapped inside a physical form. You are not just flesh and bone, not just thoughts and memories, not just a single being moving through time. You are four bodies, four layers of existence, four aspects of yourself that have been operating beneath the surface, waiting for you to awaken to them. Because when you do, everything changes. The way you move, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you create, it all shifts. And the moment these four bodies align, you unlock something that has been hidden from you your entire life. The ability to shape reality, not as a passive participant, but as a conscious creator. But this knowledge has been taken from you. It has been buried beneath distractions, twisted into myths, suppressed by those who have ruled this world from behind the scenes. Because they know that once you remember who you are, once you reclaim the full power of your being, their control over you ends. That is why they have spent centuries keeping you disconnected from your true nature. That is why they have conditioned you to believe that you are only your physical body, that your emotions are weaknesses, that your mind is limited, that your spirit is something external, separate, unreachable. Because as long as you believe these things, you will never access the full force of what you are. But the illusion is breaking. The knowledge that was once hidden is resurfacing, And now, you stand at the threshold of something ancient, something powerful, something that was never meant to be forgotten. The 4 bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, are the keys to your awakening. And once you understand them, once you learn to balance them, align them, master them, you step into a power that has been waiting for you all along. Your physical body, the first body, the most obvious, the most easily manipulated. This is where they attack first, through toxins in your food, through chemicals in the air, through artificial stress designed to weaken you, to drain your energy, to keep you in a constant state of exhaustion, because a weakened body cannot hold higher frequencies. A body that is filled with low vibrational energy cannot connect to the deeper levels of existence. They have trained you to ignore this body until it fails you, to see it as something separate from your consciousness, to neglect the very vessel that carries your energy through this world. But when you reclaim it, when you strengthen it, when you begin treating your body not as something to be tolerated but as something to be honored, everything shifts. The energy moves differently, the mind sharpens, the emotions stabilize, the spiritual connection deepens, because your body is not just flesh, it is the foundation, the anchor, that allows you to access the higher realms of your own being. And when the physical body awakens, the emotional body stirs, the body of water, of energy and motion, of feeling. This is where they strike next, through fear, through trauma, through programming designed to keep you reactive, unstable, drowning in emotions that do not belong to you. They have taught you to suppress, to ignore, to numb yourself, because emotions are energy, and energy is power. If they can make you afraid, if they can keep you angry, if they can fill you with grief, they can control the flow of energy within you. But the moment you reclaim your emotional body, the moment you stop reacting and start directing, the game changes. You become fluid, adaptable, untouchable. You learn to transmute emotions instead of being consumed by them. You turn fear into power, sadness into wisdom, anger into transformation. And when you do, the energy they once used against you becomes the energy that sets you free. And then the mind awakens. The mental body, the body of air, the seat of thought, perception, belief, the most carefully controlled, the most tightly bound, because they know that if they control your thoughts, they control your world. If they shape your beliefs, they shape your reality. They have built an entire system designed to dictate what you think, what you question, what you believe is possible. They have flooded your consciousness with noise, distractions, misinformation, all to keep you from realizing the truth. That your mind is not just a receiver but a transmitter. That what you focus on you amplify. That what you believe you create. They have spent centuries programming your mind to see the world in a way that benefits them. But the moment you reclaim it, the moment you strip away the false narratives, the limiting beliefs, the subconscious programming, your thoughts become a force that bends reality to your will, a force that no longer feeds the system of control, but instead shatters it. And when the mind aligns, the final body awakens, the spiritual body, the body of fire, the divine spark, the eternal self that they have tried to make you forget. This is the ultimate secret, the greatest deception they have ever pulled, that you are separate from the source, that you are alone, that you are powerless. They have filled the world with distractions, with false idols, with endless external pursuits, all to keep you from turning inward, all to keep you from realizing that the connection you seek has been within you all along. The spiritual body is the bridge, the doorway, the key that unlocks everything. It is the force that binds the other three together, the energy that animates them, the fire that burns away illusion and reveals the truth. And when this body awakens, when you step fully into your spiritual power, you become untouchable. You move through the world with an awareness that cannot be dimmed, with a presence that cannot be ignored, with a vibration that alters reality itself. And this is why they have fought so hard to keep you from remembering. This is why they have spent lifetimes ensuring that you would never align, never integrate, never reach this level of awareness, because the moment you do, their control is broken. The illusion dissolves, the walls of the system fall away, and you step into something greater, into the version of yourself that was always meant to exist. And now you stand at the threshold. You have the knowledge, You feel the truth of it in your bones, in your heart, in your very soul. But knowledge alone is not enough. You must act. You must make the choice to break free, to step fully into the power that has been waiting for you, because this is the moment where everything changes, the moment where you either reclaim yourself or you allow the illusion to reclaim you. And that choice is yours. It has always been yours. But once you choose, once you take that step, once you commit to aligning the four bodies, to integrating the lost parts of yourself, to becoming whole again, there is no going back. The reality you once knew will no longer hold you. The world they created will no longer bind you, because you will have stepped into something higher, something greater, something that was never meant to be forgotten. And once you awaken to that, you are no longer just another soul trapped inside the system. You are the system's undoing. You are the shift. You are the force that cannot be controlled. You are awake, and now nothing will ever be the same again. You can feel it, can't you? That something inside of you has been stirring, awakening, calling you toward a truth that has been hidden for far too long, a truth so ancient, so powerful, that those who have ruled this world from the shadows have spent centuries trying to bury it. They have built entire systems to keep you disconnected from it. They have conditioned you to believe that you are small, that you are limited, that you are nothing more than a single body moving through time. But that is a lie, the greatest lie ever told. Because you are not one body, you are four. This is the secret they never wanted you to know, that you exist not as a single being but as a multi-layered consciousness, woven through four bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And when these four bodies align, when you awaken to their true power, you unlock something extraordinary. You activate a force within you that can reshape your reality, that can shift your destiny, that can break the illusion they have spent lifetimes keeping you trapped inside. Because once you understand how these four bodies work, you stop being a pawn in their game. You stop living by the rules of a world designed to keep you asleep. You begin to step into something greater, something untouchable, something unstoppable. But for centuries they have done everything in their power to keep you disconnected. They have weakened your physical body, filling it with toxins, processed foods, artificial chemicals designed to keep your energy low, to keep your vibration dense, to keep you so consumed by survival that you never even realize there is something beyond the physical. Because the physical body is the foundation, and if they can weaken it, they can keep you from ever unlocking the higher aspects of yourself. They teach you to see your body as just a machine, something separate from your consciousness, something fragile, something to be neglected. But your body is not just flesh and bone, it is a vessel of energy, a conduit for something much greater. And when you purify it, when you strengthen it, when you align it with its natural rhythms, you begin to feel something shift. The energy moves differently. The connection becomes stronger. The signals from your higher self become clearer. And that is when the second body awakens, the emotional body. The body of water, the body of movement, the body of energy and motion. This is where they trap you next, through fear, through anger, through the constant reinforcement of trauma, generation after generation. They fill your mind with narratives designed to keep you reactive, unstable, lost in a cycle of emotional highs and lows that are never truly yours. Because emotions are power, and if they can control your emotions, they can control your energy. But when you reclaim this body, when you learn to transmute your emotions rather than be consumed by them, you become untouchable. You stop reacting to the world around you. You stop allowing fear to dictate your decisions. You learn how to take the energy of every emotion, fear, sadness, anger, and alchemize it into something greater, into power, into wisdom, into transformation. And then something deeper awakens. The third body, the mental body, the body of air, the body of thought, of perception, of belief. The most carefully guarded, the most tightly controlled, because they know that if they can control your thoughts, they control your world. If they can program your beliefs, they shape your reality before you ever have a chance to question it. And they have mastered this art, They have built an entire system designed to dictate how you think, what you believe, what you question, and what you do not. They flood your consciousness with distractions, with noise, with carefully crafted illusions that keep you locked in mental loops, never realizing that your mind is not just a receiver but a transmitter, that what you focus on you amplify, that what you believe you create. But when you awaken this body, when you take back control of your mind, when you strip away the false narratives and begin to think for yourself, reality itself starts to shift. The illusions begin to crack, the mental barriers they placed around you dissolve, and you begin to see things as they truly are, not as they were designed for you to see. You step outside of the programmed reality and into a world where thought is power, where belief is creation, where nothing is fixed and everything is fluid, and that is when the fourth body awakens. The spiritual body, the body of fire, the divine spark, the connection that they have spent lifetimes trying to sever. This is the ultimate truth, the one they never wanted you to find, that you are not separate, that you are not alone, that you are not just a being moving through the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through you. They have buried this knowledge beneath layers of religion, of materialism, of distractions that keep you focused on everything but the one thing that matters, your connection to the infinite. Because the moment you remember this, the moment you awaken this final body, the illusion collapses. The game ends. Their control dissolves. Because once you activate all four bodies, you become something they cannot touch. You become someone who no longer lives by the rules of their world, but by the laws of your own creation. You no longer look outside yourself for answers, for validation, for power. Because you know that everything you seek is already within you, you begin to move through life differently. You begin to attract rather than chase. You begin to bend reality rather than be shaped by it. And they know that the more people who awaken to this, the weaker their system becomes. The more the collective shifts, the more the world transforms. And that is why this knowledge was hidden. That is why those who understood it in the past were silenced, erased, cast out as heretics. Because they knew that if enough people remembered, the old world would fall, the system of control would collapse, and a new reality, one built on awareness, on creation, on sovereignty, would take its place. And that reality is already forming, right now. The question is, will you be a part of it? Will you take what you now know and awaken all four bodies? Will you align yourself with the power that has been waiting for you all along? Or will you let it slip away, lost once again to the distractions of the world they built to keep you asleep? That is the choice you must make, because now you know the truth. Now you can no longer say you do not see. Now you are awake, and once you are awake, there is no going back. This is the moment where everything changes, the moment where you step fully into your power, the moment where you decide that you will no longer be a prisoner of the illusion, but a creator of your own reality. Because the four bodies are not just an idea, they are the key to everything. And now that you have the key, the only question left is, will you use it? Because if you do, if you fully align, if you fully awaken, you will never be the same again. The world you once knew will no longer hold you. The limitations you once accepted will no longer bind you, because you will have stepped into something higher, something limitless, something that was never meant to be forgotten. And now you are remembering. Now you are free. You feel it, don't you? That pull inside of you, that undeniable sense that something within you is stirring, something ancient, something powerful. It's been calling to you for as long as you can remember, whispering in the silence, nudging you to see beyond what you've been taught, beyond what you've been told is possible. But every time you got close, the world found a way to pull you back. Another distraction, another reason to doubt, another voice telling you that you were imagining things, that reality is fixed, that you are just a body, just a mind, just a product of your environment. But you are not. You were never meant to be confined by those limits. You were never meant to live as a fraction of what you truly are, because you are not just one body, you are four. They never taught you this. They never wanted you to know. Because the moment you understand this truth, the moment you remember what has been hidden from you, you begin to break free from the invisible prison that has shaped your entire existence. You begin to see the illusion for what it is, and once you see it, you can never unsee it. For centuries, secret societies, mystics, and the keepers of ancient wisdom have understood what modern civilization has worked so hard to suppress. That you are not just a physical being, that your consciousness moves through 4 distinct bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And when you learn to align them, to master them, to bring them into harmony, something extraordinary happens. You activate a level of power that most people will never even glimpse. You step outside of the programmed reality and into a state of pure creation. You no longer react to life, you shape it. But for that to happen, you must first understand how they have kept you disconnected, how they have made sure that your 4 bodies remain out of balance, out of sync, so that you never access the full spectrum of your own energy. It starts with the physical body, the most obvious, the most targeted, because if they can weaken your body, if they can flood it with toxins, stress and fatigue, they can ensure that the other bodies never fully activate. This is why you are surrounded by artificial food, by polluted air, by substances that lower your vibration. This is why you are taught to treat your body as if it is separate from your mind, as if it is just a machine that must be maintained, rather than an energetic vessel that connects you to something much greater. But the moment you begin to reclaim it, the moment you cleanse it, strengthen it, nourish it with intention, something shifts. Your energy field becomes stronger, your intuition becomes sharper, the connection to the other bodies starts to become clear, and that is when the second body awakens, the emotional body, the body of water, the body of energy and motion. This is where they have trapped you next, through fear, through trauma, through emotional cycles that have been passed down for generations. They keep you reactive, unstable, ruled by emotions that you were never taught to control. Because emotions are energy, and energy is power. If they can dictate what you feel, they can dictate what you create. But what happens when you take back control? What happens when you stop reacting, when you stop allowing your emotions to be used against you? You become fluid, adaptable, untouchable. You learn how to transmute energy, how to turn pain into wisdom, fear into strength, anger into transformation, and suddenly, the emotional triggers that once controlled you no longer have power over you. You stop feeding the system with your energy and instead you begin to channel it into something greater. And then something deeper begins to stir. The mental body, the body of air, the mind itself, the realm of thought, perception, belief. This is the most carefully controlled, the most tightly bound, because if they can control your thoughts, if they can dictate what you believe is possible, then they never have to control anything else. If they can keep you locked inside a limited framework of reality, if they can make you believe that you are small, that you are separate, that you are powerless, then you will never even attempt to break free, and that is exactly what they have done. Through education, through media, through the repetition of carefully crafted narratives, they have shaped the way you think, the way you process reality, the way you define yourself. But once you recognize this, once you see how your thoughts have been manipulated, you can undo it. You can take back control of your mind, strip away the false beliefs, the conditioned limitations, the programmed perceptions, and when that happens, your thoughts become a force of nature. Your mind becomes a tool for creation rather than a cage of restriction. And that is when the 4th body awakens, the spiritual body, the body of fire, the divine spark within you, the ultimate secret they have spent lifetimes trying to keep hidden, because this is the connection they never wanted you to remember, that you are not separate from the source, that you are not just an individual moving through the universe, you are the universe, experiencing itself through you. You are the creator, the architect, the force that bends reality itself. And the moment you step into this truth, the moment you fully awaken, the game is over. Because the entire system is built on the assumption that you will never figure this out, that you will stay locked in the lower states, disconnected from your full power. But once all four bodies align, once you reclaim them, integrate them, master them, you operate on a level that cannot be touched. You move through the world differently. You stop seeking, you start creating. You start reacting, you start directing. You stop feeding into their illusion, and instead you step into a new reality, one where you are in control, one where the forces that once dictated your life no longer have any power over you. And this is why they have fought so hard to suppress this knowledge. This is why those who have understood it in the past were silenced, erased from history, cast out as heretics and outlaws. Because they knew that if enough people remembered, the old world would fall, the system would collapse, and a new paradigm, one built on truth, on energy, on conscious creation would take its place. And that is exactly what is happening now. More and more people are remembering, more and more are waking up, and the illusion is beginning to break. The only question is, will you step forward? Will you take what you now know and activate the full power of your four bodies? Will you align them, master them, use them to reshape your reality? Or will you let this knowledge slip away, back into the abyss, lost once again to the distractions of a world designed to keep you asleep? That is the choice before you. Because now you know the truth. Now you have seen beyond the veil. Now you understand that the world is not what you thought it was, that you are not who you were told you were. And once you know, you can never unknow. Once you awaken, you can never go back to sleep. This is the moment where everything changes, the moment where you decide whether you will reclaim your power or surrender it back to the system that was built to control you, the moment where you either step into your full potential or remain as you were. But know this: the old world is fading, the illusion is crumbling, and those who align with their full selves, those who remember who they are, those who awaken their four bodies will be the ones who shape what comes next. The question is, will you be one of them? Because if you choose to step into this power, if you choose to break free, if you choose to align and awaken, you will never be the same again. You will never see the world the same again, because now you are no longer just another mind trapped inside the illusion. Now you are the force that shatters it. Now you are awake, and nothing will ever be the same again. You are standing at the edge of something vast, something ancient, something that has been hidden from you for your entire life, but now you feel it, a force within you awakening, stirring, pushing against the illusion that has kept you trapped for so long. It is not a new force, it has always been there, but the world has done everything it can to make you forget. It has filled your mind with noise, your body with toxins, your emotions with fear, and your spirit with doubt. It has built a reality so carefully designed that you never even questioned whether it was real. But now you are questioning. Now you are seeing. Now you are waking up. Because you were never just one body, one consciousness, one mind moving through time. That was the first illusion. You are not one. You are four. Four bodies, four layers of existence, four dimensions of energy woven together, forming the structure of who and what you truly are, the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. And when you align them, when you awaken them, when you step into the full force of your being, something extraordinary happens. You break free from the prison of unconscious creation. You stop being controlled by the world and instead begin to shape it. This is the knowledge that has been hidden for centuries. The knowledge that was stolen, buried, suppressed by those who never wanted you to know your true power. They have spent lifetimes keeping you disconnected from yourself, ensuring that you never understand how your own energy works, how your own consciousness shapes the world around you. They have weakened your body, poisoned your emotions, programmed your mind, and severed your spirit, all so you would remain asleep, all so you would remain easy to control. Because the moment you remember, the moment you take back control of your four bodies, their control over you ends. It begins with the physical, the foundation, the anchor, the first body and the easiest to manipulate. They have filled your world with food that lowers your vibration, with chemicals that dull your senses, with artificial frequencies that weaken your energy field. They have taught you to see your body as separate from your consciousness, as something fragile, something that decays, something to be ignored. But your body is not weak. It is a vessel of energy, a conduit for the higher forces of your being. It is designed to hold frequencies that can transform reality itself. And when you cleanse it, when you strengthen it, when you align it with the natural forces of the universe, you begin to feel something shift. Your energy starts moving differently. Your awareness expands. The connection to your higher self grows stronger. Because the physical body is not just flesh and bone, it is the gateway to something far greater. And when you reclaim it, the second body awakens. The emotional body. The body of water, of energy in motion. The body they have trapped you in for generations. They have used fear to keep you weak. They have used trauma to keep you reactive. They have filled your mind with stories of guilt, shame, anger, and sorrow, because they know that emotions are power, and if they can control what you feel, they can control what you create. Because emotions are not just fleeting sensations, they are vibrations, frequencies, that shape the energy around you. When you exist in a state of fear, you generate a reality of fear. When you exist in a state of doubt, you attract experiences that reinforce that doubt. But when you learn to master your emotions, when you stop being a prisoner to them and start using them as tools, you take back control of your own energy. You stop feeding the system that was built to enslave you, and instead you begin to channel that energy into your own awakening. And then something deeper begins to shift. The third body awakens, the mental body, the body of air, of thought, of perception, the most carefully guarded, the most tightly bound. Because if they can dictate what you think, they never have to control anything else. If they can shape your beliefs, they shape your reality before you ever take a single action. They have built entire institutions designed to limit your perception, to keep you locked inside a narrow field of possibilities. They have taught you to accept what is given, to never question, to never explore beyond the boundaries they have created for you. And as long as you believe in those limits, they remain real. But the moment you see through them, the moment you realize that your thoughts are not just reactions but creations, the illusion begins to crumble. You begin to understand that reality itself is not fixed, that the mind is not just a receiver, but a transmitter, that what you focus on, you amplify, that what you believe, you create, and suddenly, the power that once kept you trapped becomes the power that sets you free. And then, the final body awakens, the spiritual body, the body of fire, the infinite, the eternal, the part of you that they have worked the hardest to make you forget. Because once this body awakens, you are untouchable. You no longer seek power. You realize you are power. You no longer look for answers outside of yourself. You understand that everything you need has always been within. They have tried to sever this connection through false narratives, through religious control, through endless distractions designed to keep you focused outward rather than inward. Because they know that the moment you remember who you really are, the illusion collapses, the control dissolves, and you step into a level of awareness that changes everything. Because this is not just about you. This is about something much larger. The world is shifting, the old system is crumbling, more and more people are waking up, remembering what was hidden, reclaiming what was stolen, and with every awakened mind, the power of the old world weakens. That is what they fear. Not just one person breaking free, but many. Because once enough people align their full bodies, once enough people reclaim their full potential, the game is over. The illusion dissolves, and a new world begins to emerge. A world not built on fear, but on creation. Not built on limitation, but on expansion. Not built on control, but on sovereignty. And now you are part of that shift. You have reached the moment where you must decide. Will you take this knowledge and use it? Will you begin the process of aligning your four bodies, of integrating the power that has been waiting for you? Will you step fully into your awareness, into your sovereignty, into the truth that you were never meant to be small? Or will you let this moment pass? Will you allow yourself to be pulled back into the illusion, into the distractions, into the programming that was designed to keep you asleep? Because now you know, and once you know, there is no unknowing. Once you awaken, there is no going back to sleep. This is the moment where everything changes, the moment where you decide whether you will step into your full potential or remain where you were. But know this, the world you once knew is fading, the illusion is crumbling, and those who reclaim their full power will be the ones who shape what comes next. So the question is, will you be one of them? Because if you choose to step into this power, if you choose to align your four bodies, if you choose to awaken, you will never be the same again. You will never see the world the same again, because now you are no longer just another mind trapped inside the illusion. Now you are the force that shatters it. Now you are awake, and nothing will ever be the same again. You feel it now, don't you? That something inside you has shifted. That the reality you once accepted without question is no longer as solid as it seemed. That there is something more, something hidden, something waiting beneath the surface of everything you've been told to believe. This is not just a passing thought. This is not just another moment of curiosity. This is something deeper, something ancient, something powerful, and for the first time, you are beginning to remember. Because the truth is, you were never meant to live like this. You were never meant to feel disconnected, powerless, trapped inside a system that keeps you small. You were never meant to move through life as if you were just a single body, just a collection of thoughts, just a being surviving from one day to the next. That was the illusion. That was the lie. You are not one body, you are four. And each one holds a key to unlocking the truth about who you really are. They never wanted you to know this. They never wanted you to understand that you are more than your physical form, that your emotions are not just reactions but tools, that your mind is not just a receiver of information but a force that shapes reality, that your spirit is not separate from you but the source of everything you are. Because the moment you realize this, the moment you align these four bodies, you step into something they cannot control. You become something they have spent lifetimes trying to suppress. You become free. It starts with the first body, the physical, the foundation, the vessel that carries your energy, that holds the frequency of everything you experience. This is where they attack you first, through the food you eat, through the air you breathe, through the constant exposure to stress, to fear, to chemicals designed to lower your vibration. They fill your body with toxins and call it nourishment. They drain your energy and call it progress. They disconnect you from the natural rhythms of the earth, from the cycles that once sustained your ancestors, so that you never even realize that your body is more than just flesh and bone. It is a conduit, a battery, a generator of energy. And the stronger it becomes, the higher the frequencies it can hold. This is why they keep you weak, because a body that vibrates at a low frequency cannot support higher consciousness. But when you reclaim it, when you nourish it, when you bring it into alignment, something happens. You feel lighter, clearer, stronger. The energy starts to move differently, and suddenly you are no longer just existing. You are waking up. And that is when the second body stirs, the emotional body, the body of water, of movement, of energy and motion. This is where they trap you next, through fear, through anger, through unresolved trauma passed down for generations, keeping you locked in cycles you never chose. Because emotions are not just feelings. They are vibrations. They shape the energy around you, create the frequency you exist within. And as long as they can keep you in fear, in doubt, in sorrow, you will never rise above it. You will never realize that your emotions are not something that happens to you. They are something you can master, something you can direct, something you can use. Because the moment you stop reacting, the moment you start transmuting your emotions instead of being controlled by them, everything shifts. You no longer feed the system with your energy. You no longer get lost in the illusions they have built around you. You begin to reclaim yourself, piece by piece, step by step. And as your emotions come into balance, as you stop being pulled by the waves of external influence, you unlock the next level of power. And then the third body awakens, the mental body, the body of air, the body of thought, of perception, of belief. The most carefully controlled, the most tightly bound, because if they can dictate what you think, they don't have to control anything else. If they can shape your perception, they shape your entire reality. And they have done this masterfully. They have filled your mind with noise, with distractions, with narratives that keep you focused on everything except the one thing that matters, your own power. They have taught you to doubt yourself, to question your own intuition, to believe that you are small, that you are limited, that the world is something that happens to you instead of something that is shaped by you. And as long as you accept this, it remains true. But the moment you step outside of it, the moment you start to question, the illusion begins to crack. Because the truth is, your mind is not just a receiver of information, it is a transmitter. It is an architect. It does not simply interpret reality, it creates it. And once you understand this, once you reclaim control over the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind, you begin to see the world as it truly is. Not a fixed structure, but a field of energy, responding to you, shifting with you, bending to the frequencies you emit. And that is when the final body awakens, the spiritual body, the body of fire, the part of you that has never been bound by this world, the part of you that has existed beyond time, beyond space, beyond form, the part of you they have fought hardest to keep you from remembering, because once this body is activated, the game is over. The illusion collapses. The fear disappears, and you begin to see with absolute clarity that you were never separate from the source, that you were never just a single being lost in the vastness of existence. You were existence itself, experiencing itself through you, and they have spent lifetimes trying to keep you from knowing this. They have told you that power is something outside of you, that divinity is something to be worshipped, something to be sought, something to be earned, but the truth is, you have never been separate from it. You are not disconnected, you are not lost, you are not small, you are the force they never wanted to awaken, and now you are remembering. Because this is not just about you, this is about something much larger. The world is changing, the illusion is breaking, more and more people are waking up, reclaiming the power that was taken from them, stepping into the knowledge that has been hidden for far too long. And with every awakened mind, the old system weakens. The frequencies shift. The reality they built to control you begins to collapse under its own weight. This is what they fear. Not just one person breaking free, but many. Because once enough people align their four bodies, once enough people reclaim their full potential, the world they created ceases to exist. The systems of control dissolve, and a new paradigm, one built on truth, on sovereignty, on conscious creation, rises in its place. And now, you are part of that shift. You have reached the moment where you must decide. Will you take this knowledge and use it? Will you begin the process of aligning your four bodies, of integrating the power that has been waiting for you? Will you step fully into your awareness, into your sovereignty, into the truth that you were never meant to be small? Or will you let this moment pass? Will you allow yourself to be pulled back into the illusion, into the distractions, into the programming that was designed to keep you asleep? Because now you know, and once you know, there is no unknowing. Once you awaken, there is no going back to sleep. This is the moment where everything changes, the moment where you decide whether you will step into your full potential or remain where you were. But know this, the world you once knew is fading, the illusion is crumbling, and those who reclaim their full power will be the ones who shape what comes next. So the question is, will you be one of them? Because if you choose to step into this power, if you choose to align your four bodies, if you choose to awaken, you will never be the same again. You will never see the world the same again. Because now, you are no longer just another mind trapped inside the illusion. Now you are the force that shatters it. Now you are awake. And nothing will ever be the same again. You feel it, don't you? That quiet hum beneath the surface of your reality. That sensation that something is shifting, something is awakening, something inside you is beginning to remember. It's not your imagination, it's not just another thought passing through your mind, it's something deeper, something ancient, something that has been calling to you for longer than you realize, and now you are listening. Now you are seeing beyond the illusion that was placed around you. Now you are beginning to understand that the world is not what it seems, that you are not what you were told you are. For as long as you can remember, they have fed you a single lie, that you are just a body, just a mind, just one thing moving through time, reacting to the world around you. They have built an entire system designed to keep you in that belief, to keep you thinking that reality is fixed, that your limits are real, that the life you are living is all there is. But now, the illusion is breaking. Now the truth is finding you, and the truth is you are not one body, you are four. This is what they never wanted you to know, that you exist across multiple dimensions, multiple layers of consciousness, all working together, all influencing the world around you. The physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. 4 bodies, 4 aspects of yourself, 4 keys to unlocking everything they have worked so hard to keep hidden. Because once you bring them into balance, once you reclaim what was taken from you, the game changes. You stop playing by their rules. You stop living inside the reality they built for you. You begin to shape reality itself. It begins with the physical, the first body, the most obvious, the most targeted, because this is where they strike first. They weaken your body, flood it with toxins, expose it to artificial frequencies that lower your vibration, keep you dependent on a system that is designed to drain you. They teach you to see your body as something separate from your consciousness, something fragile, something that decays and withers. But the truth is, your body is not just flesh and bone. It is energy, it is a frequency receiver, a tuning fork, a vessel designed to hold power beyond anything you've been led to believe. And when you take control of it, when you cleanse it, nourish it, move it with intention, something begins to shift. The energy begins to flow differently. The signals from your higher self become clearer. The connection to the other bodies strengthens. And then the second body stirs. The emotional body, the body of water, the body of motion, of flow, of energy that moves through you and shapes the way you experience the world. This is where they trap you next. Through fear, through trauma, through emotional cycles that repeat generation after generation, keeping you bound to patterns that were never yours to begin with. They keep you reactive, keep you unstable, keep you locked in emotions that pull you down. Because emotions are power. They are vibrational currents that influence everything around you. And if they can control what you feel, they can control what you create. But when you begin to master this body, when you learn to move through emotions without being consumed by them, you become something different. You stop being pulled by the tides of external forces. You learn to transmute fear into clarity, pain into wisdom, doubt into awareness. You become fluid, adaptable, untouchable, and when that happens, you are no longer easy to control. And then something deeper awakens. The third body, the mental body, the body of air, of thought, of perception, the most carefully guarded. Because if they can control your thoughts, they don't need to control anything else. If they can dictate what you believe is possible, they shape your entire reality before you ever take a single action. They fill your mind with distractions, with narratives that keep you focused on survival, on struggle, on limitation. They teach you that power exists outside of you, that truth is something to be learned rather than something to be remembered. And as long as you believe that, as long as you accept the world they have constructed for you, you will never question it, you will never see beyond it. But once you awaken this body, once you strip away the programming, once you realize that your mind is not just a receiver but a transmitter, the illusion begins to crack. You begin to understand that reality itself is not fixed, that what you focus on expands, that what you believe you create. And suddenly, the power they use to control you becomes the power that sets you free. And then the final body awakens, the spiritual body, the body of fire, the connection that has always been there but has been buried beneath the noise of the world. This is the ultimate secret, the one they have spent lifetimes trying to keep you from remembering. Because once this body is activated, once you fully connect to it, you become something they cannot touch. You no longer seek power, you realize you are power. You no longer look for truth outside of yourself. You see that truth has been within you all along. This is why they have worked so hard to sever this connection, through false narratives, through systems of control, through distractions that keep you looking outward instead of inward. Because the moment you remember, The moment you reclaim this body, their control over you dissolves. The fear vanishes, the illusion collapses, and you step into a level of awareness that changes everything. Because this is not just about you, this is about something much larger. The world is shifting, the old system is breaking down. More and more people are waking up, remembering what was hidden, reclaiming what was stolen, and with every awakened mind, the illusion loses power. This is what they fear, not just one person breaking free, but many. Because once enough people align their full bodies, once enough people reclaim their full potential, the world as we know it will no longer be the same. The structures of control will fall, the old paradigm will dissolve, and a new reality, one built on awareness, on sovereignty, on creation, will take its place. And now you are part of that shift. You are standing in the space between the old world and the new, between illusion and truth, between the person you were and the being you are becoming. And the choice is yours. Will you take this knowledge and use it? Will you align your four bodies, integrate their power, step fully into your awareness, or will you let it slip away? Will you allow yourself to be pulled back into the distractions, into the programming, into the version of reality that was designed to keep you from ever remembering who you truly are? Because now you know. And once you know, there is no unknowing. Once you awaken, there is no going back to sleep. This is the moment where everything changes, the moment where you decide whether you will step into your full potential or remain where you were. But know this, the world you once knew is fading, the illusion is crumbling, and those who reclaim their full power will be the ones who shape what comes next. So the question is, will you be one of them? Because if you choose to step into this power, if you choose to align your four bodies, if you choose to awaken, you will never be the same again. You will never see the world the same again. Because now you are no longer just another mind trapped inside the illusion. Now you are the force that shatters it. Now you are awake. And nothing will ever be the same again. And now you stand at the threshold. The moment where you must decide, because this knowledge is not just something to understand. It is something to embody, something to integrate, something to live. You can feel it now, can't you? The energy shifting, the illusion breaking, the parts of you that were once dormant now stirring to life. You are no longer who you were, you are no longer asleep. And that means you cannot go back. You cannot unknow what you now know. You cannot return to the version of yourself that accepted limitation, that believed in the false narratives of control, that lived as if reality was something that happened to you, instead of something you were always meant to create. That version of you is gone, and what remains is something ancient, something powerful, something they never wanted to awaken. Because the truth is, you have always been more than they told you. You have always had access to this power. It was never something you had to earn. It was never something you had to seek outside of yourself. It was always within you, waiting, watching, ready for the moment you would remember. And that moment is now. This is why you have felt the pull. This is why you have questioned. This is why no matter how much the world tried to keep you asleep, something inside of you refused to stay unconscious. Because you were not meant to live in the illusion. You were meant to rise beyond it. And now you are. You are rising. You are aligning. You are beginning to see what has been hidden in plain sight all along. The energy, the frequency, the connection that flows through you and everything around you. The way your thoughts shape reality. The way your emotions direct energy. The way your body holds the vibration of every experience. The way your spirit moves beyond time, beyond space, beyond anything you were led to believe was possible. You were never just one thing. You were never just a body, just a mind, just a consciousness wandering through an empty universe. You were always something greater. You were always connected. And now you are remembering how to step fully into that truth. And when you do, when you fully embrace what you are, the world can no longer hold you in the way it once did. The illusions no longer work. The fear no longer controls. The distractions no longer pull you away from yourself. Because you see now. You see how everything has been orchestrated to keep you from this moment. You see how every system, every structure, every belief imposed upon you was designed to keep you from reaching this level of awareness, because they knew that if enough of you remembered, the old world would fall, the system of control would collapse, and a new paradigm would rise in its place, a world shaped not by manipulation but by creation, not by fear but by sovereignty, not by external authority but by inner mastery. And you are here to be part of that shift. You are here to be a force of change. You are here to be one of the beings who remembers, who reclaims, who activates the full power of what it means to be aligned, because that is what this has always been about. Alignment, integration, bringing all the parts of you, your body, your emotions, your mind, your spirit, into a singular state of awareness, a singular force that no longer vibrates at the frequency of control, but at the frequency of creation. And when you reach that state, nothing can stop you, nothing can pull you back, nothing can make you forget again. Because you are not just another soul moving through this transition, you are one of the architects of what comes next. And that is why this moment matters, because now you must choose. Will you allow yourself to return to the distractions, to the programming, to the world that was designed to keep you asleep? Or will you step fully into your power? Will you embody what you now know? Will you integrate the truth of your four bodies and move through this world as the force of creation you were always meant to be? Because the reality you align with is the reality you will create. And right now, in this moment, you are choosing. With every thought, with every breath, with every vibration you emit, you are deciding whether you will return to the dream or step fully into your awakening. And if you choose to awaken, if you choose to step forward, if you choose to align, then nothing will ever be the same again. The world you once knew will no longer hold you. The limits you once believed in will no longer apply to you, because you will have stepped into something greater, something limitless, something eternal. And when you do, you will realize that this was never just about you. This was about something much larger. This was about the collective shift, the unraveling of the illusion, the rising of a new era, and you are part of it. You have always been part of it. So now, the choice is yours. Will you return to what you once were, or will you step fully into what you were always meant to be, because now you know. Now you are awake, and once you awaken, nothing will ever be the same again.